Welcome back to Rolling History. This week we're going to pull the steering box off the car, the steering column, get that all fixed up and ready to go. Also, a couple things have happened since the last time we talked. We picked up another sponsor, Myers Dodge, and we got a bunch of parts coming right now, so we should be able to get going on the videos. I know we've been kind of back and forth with the Christmas holiday and all that, but we're kind of waiting for parts, waiting for things on every aspect of the car. So this should get us back on track, maybe back to one video a week. But we appreciate Myers Dodge for their help, and so let's go work on that steering box. The first step in removing the box is going to be to remove these two bolts right here. And then there are also a couple more on the up above. You can kind of see them there, where the steering column mounts to the wood floorboard, but the floorboard is no longer attached to the car, so I'm going to take it out in one piece. And there was also a couple more up on the dash, but they were taken out a long time ago when we did the dash and the gauges, so it should come out pretty easily. So I just cut the bolts off that were holding it to the floorboard, and I have it up here on the table. So I'm just going to take all the nuts and bolts off and disassemble it, and we'll go from there. So after I disassembled the steering box, I cleaned everything up, sandblasted what I could, and then I repainted what I could. With the steering column and stuff, I painted it with like a mixture of flat and gloss. I was hoping it would make it look a little bit older, but it kind of doesn't. I'm gonna sand it a little bit and maybe through to the primer in a couple spots when I'm all done to make it look old. But anyways, let's put it back together. So I forgot to buy some more gasket material, so I'm gonna have to do that later. But for now, I'm just going to put this on so the gears don't fall out, and I'll come back a little later and put that gasket in here. It cleaned up really nice. There wasn't really anything wrong inside there other than just being disgusting, but it cleaned up real good, and I'm sure it'll work just fine. Let's see, I think this one goes here. And I'll have to adjust it later, just to make sure everything's working. But for now, I just wanted to assemble it, put it back together so I don't lose any pieces, and kind of call it done until later. Okay, that part's all back together. Well, let's just okay. So these actually go to hold it on the car. I can't put those on now. Now for the steering column. Looks like the paint is interfering, and I got some paint on here. Alright, it looks like I'm gonna have to wire brush this paint off of here. It's not going through the hole, even though that the tube, when I painted this, I figured that that tube, the other control, this one runs down inside of it, and it's much larger, so there was plenty of room, but at the very entrance here, right here, it's a tight fit. So I'm gonna have to wire brush all that off and just leave it bare. I was trying to leave some protective coating on it, but it's not gonna happen. So let me wire it off, and I'll be back. So I used my wire wheel and I took all the new paint off this shaft, which was kind of a bummer. I was hoping to protect it a little bit, but let's start over here. I'm gonna put some grease on it. Hopefully that'll protect it a little bit. And then we're gonna put it down into the other tube, try and get it back together. Okay, that went in just perfect. So this, well, I need to look at my pictures. All right, so this one goes on like so. That's gonna tear up my new paint. I'll just have to touch it up. And then we got the spring, and then we've got this little arm. And there is a little pin that goes through here, but I don't know where that went. So I'm going to have to get a new one. I'll have to take it down to the store and find a little roll pin for that. All right, so there's the steering column. The steering box is done. And I did come across a little problem. This little arm here, the threads inside this little piece are no good. I'm gonna have to try to find one of those because it just kind of slides on and off now. And it was soldered together, but it was kind of done on the car and they didn't clean it, so it just popped apart. Their fix didn't really help them at all. So I have a couple little things to do to finish this. I need to get that pin, and I need to figure out this piece, and I need to mount my steering wheel. But first I need to stain that and clear coat it, so I'll do that maybe during the week, and we'll see how that comes out. And then the steering column will be ready to go back on the car, but the car is not ready for the steering column, so it'll just have to wait. And I might actually try to sand it down a little bit and make it look a little older than it does. I still got to figure out what I want to do inside the car because I want it to be clean when we're riding in the car. I don't want to be all dirty the whole way. It's going to be a long ride, and I want to be dirty the whole way. So thanks for watching, and if you haven't already subscribe, and we'll be back hopefully sooner than later with another video. I'm working also on the water pump. I'm just waiting for a shaft to get here, so when that gets here, we'll go for it, and we'll have a video of that. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this episode of Rolling History. Just a quick update. The body is off the car right now. Down along the bottom where it met up to the frame, it was rusted. So some of the bolts that held the body to the frame were actually not even holding anything. They were just holding the bolt to the frame. So my buddy Junior is going to make a new channel down there, and that way it'll be back to solid when we put it back on. So once he's done with that, then we're going to start building those seat risers and put the body all back together, and then we got to come up with a way to preserve that paint. So anyways, that's for something down the road. For now, thanks for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, and we'll see you next time.